Okay, if we compare, these are two equations that we might have solved in the past or in the last lesson by taking square roots, right? Since there's no x term, we isolate the x squared, we take the square root of both sides, right? When you take the square root of 4, again, you're asking yourself, what number, when you multiply it times itself, you get 4. And that could be both 2 or negative 2. Now, if we change it, if it's x squared plus 4 equals 0, then when you subtract 4 from both sides, now we have x squared equals a negative number. When you take the square root of both sides, you still have the plus or minus. Now it's taking the square root of a negative. Now try to think of a number, a real number, that you could multiply times itself and get a negative number. Right? You can't, because a negative times a negative would be positive. A positive times a positive is a positive. There's no way to get that. That's why we introduced this concept of I. And I is defined as the square root of negative 1, where the I, it's a lowercase I, stands for imaginary. Okay. Now, solving that same equation from the previous slide, when I get down to this part where it says the square root of negative 4, I don't stop. I don't say it's an error, it's undefined. I break my square root up into the square root of negative 4 is the square root of negative 1 times the square root of 4. And now I can, by definition, the square root of negative 1 is I. I still have the 2, but now I've got this I to handle the square root of negative 1. So my answers are plus or minus 2I. So if I look at the graph, again, it doesn't cross the x-axis. It doesn't mean that there's no solutions. It means there's no real solutions. If we consider imaginary numbers, there's actually 2 solutions.